Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Zachary Dickinson here. Hope it's all been a wonderful and blessed week so far. We are in the middle of the week, so we're halfway through, and we are also. Can we not do that? So we are halfway through the week, halfway to the weekend. So if it's not a good week, well, you're halfway through. If it's a good week, you have another half of the week to make it even better. So either way, whether it's a good or bad, it can become better than it already has been so far. Today's video is Summer Anime 2026 Slate. Is it good? Is it bad? What are all the animes that I'll be attempting to watch? I don't finish every single anime I start, and so let's hop on into the video. So, will this season of anime for the summer be good or bad? Well, we don't have many heavy hitters. We have the heavy hitters, which are Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero. Outside of that, we don't have any other big anime that are coming back for new seasons. Kaiju number 8 is not back this time. It was back last year as it premiered back to back years for seasons 1 and 2. It is not back. We don't have any other high tier or high quality new seasons of shows. This is a lot of new shows in general. There are new seasons of some shows. I only have one that I'll be watching. It's the only one I've really seen. And so this will be very much carried on the new anime and the continuing anime from last seasons. So, um, let's go over more of this. So now the last thing before we hop into breaking down and giving previews of all the shows that I will be attempting to watch. This will be my largest amount of shows that I've ever attempted to watch. So we will see how that pans out and whether or not I actually keep up or whether or not some of these just get straight up shelved for a bit. So, is this the season for new anime to shine? Well, if you watch more than two anime and you watch more anime outside of Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero, then yes, there. As far as from what I've seen, I mostly only do Crunchyroll's lineup, but I haven't really seen anything anywhere else. There isn't really anything else outside of those two of like the big, large, heavy hitters. I'm still figuring out the placement of the camera, so ignore that. So now let's dive into the descriptions and previews of all of these anime. Alright, so the first anime that we'll be talking about that's new overall, like first time ever getting anime, no new season, no remake or anything like that, we have Black Torch. So this is a story about a ninja slash shinobi, whichever terminology fits better for you, and an animal whisperer, or well, he can talk to animals and understand exactly what they're saying. Named Jiro, he meets a feline Rago, um, and the human and the spectral or supernatural worlds begin to clash. And so this is the only anime of all of them that I have watched a single episode of because I was wanting to finish the spring slate, which I finished the spring anime slate earlier today. That'll be next week's video. And so this was a wonderful and joyful watch. Overall, most of these I don't really have too many expectations, and most of my expectations are coming straight from the description and the season picture that they give you. And so as far as right now, my general thoughts are that this kind of seems just like a normal, and this just kind of seems like this will be a fun ride. This seems similar to some other anime with a few original kind of ideas. I believe there's been other animal whisperers. There's been many, many things about shinobi and ninjas, but nothing like what I saw in the first episode. So, on to the next one. Alright, and now the next anime we have is From Overshadowed to Overpowered, second reincarnation of a talentless sage. Off of the title, I don't like the title because I don't like anime that have this long, that's basically a sentence long title. You can simplify it to something else. Like I got reincarnated for a second time, and like include talentless sage in there. You don't need overshadowed to overpowered. It's kind of implied since it's an isekai anyways. So this is an isekai. Our main character gets OP at some point. People over are underestimate him. He gets overshadowed by many others. According to the description, it goes. This is straight from the Crunchyroll description, off of the Anime Slate, from the lineup when it's been coming out and been updated. So, reborn after 400 years, the great sage Avtal enters a magic academy to restore lost sorcery. So, this kind of seems very similar to other anime that I've watched before, like one where he was from Japan, he was a sorceress, he was like a sorcerer or whatever, and he came into another world. So all the only expectation that I'm really giving is how long is it going to take before he becomes OP? And are we getting a backstory on his original life? Because this says second reincarnation. So do we get the backstory for the first of a life, or is this going to be the backstory of the first reincarnation? Alright, so our next anime is The Exiled Heavy Knight Knows How to Game the System. So, first, he's banished for some reason. Heavy Knight is a very particular and different system. Knows how to game the system, shows that he's very experienced and knows the ways of the world, and so he's not a new person to this world. Now, the perception of this anime does change a bit when you read the description because it says disowned for his Detective Heavy Knight class. So, stopping there, the Heavy Knight emphasizes detectiveness, and for some reason, this world doesn't think a detective class is worth anything, which is interesting. Uh, Helamas, might be pronounced, uses past life knowledge to prove its strength. So that gives me the idea that either we're talking about an isekai or we're just talking about something earlier in his life. So the description and the title both give away a good bit, and it also gives away a lot of intrigue. So why is this guy banished? What kind of experience gave him this stuff? Why why is the detective kind of class not really seen as prominent or good in general? And what past life knowledge is he going to use to prove his strength? On to the next one. Okay, so now we have I became a legend after my 10-year long last stand, which then the description reads after S rank luck wins a 10-year long battle, he returns to society, starts over as an F rank adventurer. The F rank adventurer leads me to believe that he's going to be constantly underestimated and people are going to think he's very weak. Um, I also think we're going to see people who know him as an S rank, but he just wants to start over for some particular reason. Him becoming a the I became a legend after my long last stand gives the impression that people may not know what he looks like. So whenever some people meet him, they'll hear the name and go, "Oh, you're him," and then they'll suddenly stop whatever like slander or bullying or stuff that they were doing to him. I want to hear a lot more about this long battle. I hope we hear about that throughout the season or in the early bits of the season. And so yeah, I this is a different format of the I of someone starting out. I think this is somewhat of the banished kind of format, or archetype or trope that's been coming up a lot recently in the past 2 or 3 years. But this is different because it seems like he willingly chooses to go from S rank to F rank, kind of like people just deciding to replay a game just to start over the journey and feel the old vibes again, which is very different. And so this is one that I'm very intrigued about. Again, most of these I haven't watched trailers because trailers nowadays are dumb. They don't give away anything, and some trailers literally just showed me characters and characters' names and nothing about the world, and I don't like those at all. All right, so now this is we're on to number 5 of, I believe there's 10 of these. This will be a very challenging task. As the most I've ever done is about 5 to 7, which is very insane that I'm actually going to try to do this. We'll see how long this lasts. The insipid prince's furtive grab for the throne. Mocked as a useless prince, Arnold wields magic in secret as Silver to manipulate the battle for the throne. So, this gives the idea that he may not be the heir to the throne, but wants to manipulate to where the person he wants for the throne will get the throne, which is very interesting and different. Right there. Um He's mocked as a useless prince, so either he's trying to manipulate someone else to get the throne, or he's trying to get the throne. He wields magic in secret, so this kind of reminds me of frick, frick, and I just watched it. Literally just watched it. Spirit Chronicles, where our main character goes by another name to manipulate and to also do his own stuff. And so this kind of reminds me of stuff like that where they use a different name or moniker. Like Code Geass, that's a better example, really. Using stuff in secret to manipulate stuff as well. So this kind of is interesting. So yeah. Alright, now for number 6, and what seemingly is the most simple explanation, and I love them. The villager of level 999, 999. Koji can Koji Kagami, level 999, question mark, exclamation point. A villager and the Demon King's daughter pursue coexistence between their worlds. Okay, honestly, I probably should have disregarded that entire description because giving me the name and the level and the villager part is fine. But then we included the Demon King's daughter as if the whole part about this just being the villager of this isn't enough to persuade people to watch it. That's kind of insane. So I am almost kind of turned off by this just by the description alone. I'll give it a shot, but it's more so because oh, villager overpowered plus someone from the bad guys um army or royal family try to pursue to where they can coexist in this world. That's been done a lot recently. And it's also been done a lot overall in media in general. And so this sounds like a very generic and bland thing with added of sounds like a two races or worlds colliding and trying to coexist with an OP main character. So I'm not really too hyped about it after reading that description. Most of these I haven't read the description all that much. So this is most of my genuine and right off the cuff reactions to them. All right, now I believe this is number 7. This is Tomb Raider King, which just going off the poster alone, this looks like the best animated overall. In a world with power granting tombs, one betrayed Left for Dead Raider is given a second chance at them all. So this sounds right off the rip just like the beginning of Solo Leveling, which I love. Not too many are like this at all. Second chances are great. So this sounds very similar to Solo Leveling with a few different coats and paints on it. I wonder how different from it will be. I think this is the one where I saw that the main character looks almost identical to Sung Jin Woo, which is going to be interesting. This is one I'm going to be keeping my eye on, and probably one of the ones I'll be watching very intently. But yeah, there's nothing too much really to grab. It's Tomb, it's rating, and it kind of sounds like Solo Leveling. Nothing too much in depth to go off of. All right, now we have. So I literally just got intrigued by the description, the title, and the poster. In the 13th century, Satara uses her knowledge to take on the Mongolian Empire after their invasion of her of having a basis of a fantastical magical world to start. So this is, I believe, one of like the only also a shoujo anime, which is basically shonen for girls. All right, now to reclaim the throne before time runs out. So now, crowned in 100 days, that gives you a very, very limited time frame of 100 days. But in anime, over 300 episodes of Naruto, that I would actually pick up. So, all right, now for the last new anime, if you're still optimistic defense lord, which is about a kid who gets a power and probably something that the kingdom or whoever gives this